Okay, for today's workout, guys, we have a 27, 21, 59. Two movements, so we got a nice couplet on the go here. First movement is alternating squat clean, so you're gonna need a dumbbell, kettlebell, or something you can hold with one hand. And then after that, we're going for push-ups. So for the alternating squat cleans, you wanna pick something that you can move that weight pretty quick from side to side. For the rounds of 27, you could do it unbroken, or you can break it up once. What you're gonna find on this one is your cardio is gonna get blasted on that movement, more so your leg endurance. So you're gonna feel that lactic acid, that burn in the legs as you're going through the set of squat cleans there, alternating. So that's kind of what we're trying to push through here. After that, we're going for push-ups. The push-ups, depending on how good you are at push-ups, you might be able to hammer through them pretty quickly. As you guys probably know by now, with push-ups you tend to hit a wall sometimes, so you're going, and then you kind of get stuck and things slow down a little bit. That is okay. If that's happening to you, that means you need a little bit more work on the push-ups, and that's how you get better at them. So this workout should take you somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes. You want to be going at a pretty fast pace here. So this is kind of like not a sprint pace, but call it like an 8 or 9 out of 10 pace. After you guys are done the workout today, we have an afterburner, which is going to help recover from some of the movements that we got going on. The first one is 2 minutes of a low back stretch. Once you're done that, we're gonna put 2 minutes into the pancake stretch, which gets your groin, your adductors, your hips mobilized. Both great stretches. We will see you guys next in the warm-up.
Okay, let's get ready to warm up here. Today's warm-up is an AMRAP 6. So we're moving for 6 minutes. Okay, so it's not about doing 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds. You move at the pace that you consider is a warm-up, that gets your heart rate going elevated, that gets the muscles fired up in the movements that we're trying to get your hamstrings, your glutes, and your upper back muscles like your lats, your rhomboids. Focus on the area versus focusing on the speed or the rounds that you're doing today. Okay, get warmed up. So first movement, 1 for 30 double unders, 60 singles. So if you don't have a skipping rope, go into those hops. So hop, single tap, or maybe it's a double tap. So hop, double tap, repeating that, guys. For the 30, for double unders would be the 30 hops with a double tap, okay? So that would be equivalent. When you're done that, from there you're going 5 per side of your single arm row. So find an object, could be a band, could be a weight, kettlebell here in this case, guys. You're gonna lean forward. If you find it a little bit awkward, you don't have another object on the other hand, feel free to follow along. If your stance is a little bit off, feel free to go into that split lunge. Okay, whatever feels comfortable. But the intention here is, again, squeeze your shoulder blades together, pull your shoulder blade back. Start pulling that object by pushing and flexing your elbow. So pushing your elbow to the ceiling without shrugging forward. Okay, so shoulder blade back, flex your elbow, squeeze your armpit, right between your arm and your rib, guys. Keep that muscle nice and active. Extend that arm, retract, row. Again, going for 5 before you switch sides. After that, then you're going for 5 as well on both sides. Your Bulgarian squat. To find an object that you can step back onto that is elevated. I'm choosing a smaller object because I know some of you guys may not have a taller object. But if possible, maybe it's the couch, maybe it's a chair. Picking a higher object to allow you to get into your hip flexion a little bit better. Lower object, you just need to get longer. Okay? From there, you're gonna go down. Think about when you go straight to the floor. Okay? Squeeze your butt to get that quad stretched out. Then drive through your heel to activate your hamstrings. At all times, guys, think about keeping your glutes nice and active so your pelvis is in a neutral position versus in this tilted position. So glutes tight, core tight. As you're doing your Bulgarian squat, going for, again, 5 on both sides where you're trying to really fire up hamstrings and your glutes while keeping that core and hips in control, okay? Can go for 6 minutes, get warmed up, hopefully that gets the heart rate going for you.
And this last thing, guys, is that clean. So it is a squat clean. If you have a barbell, if you have a kettlebell, dumbbell, we're doing squat cleans. If you're not comfortable pulling from the ground and you're new to the squat clean, you're just learning it, let's work just from that hang position. So remember, just bringing it down to about the knees, making sure the hips are back and we're folded forward to get ourselves in that good hang position. Only go down to the floor if you are keeping that back nice and flat and you feel comfortable doing the full movement. So the kettlebell staying tight to the body, or the barbell staying tight to the body, and all the movement mechanics are there.
With the push-ups here, guys. Again, let's try and keep that nice tight hollow body, stay nice and straight the entire time. So with that said, let's not sag those hips. Keep that butt tight, and then we're curling in that rib cage, keeping the abs tight. For the push-up here, I like to keep those elbow pits, or the inside elbow pits facing out in front of me. So I don't want them to face inwards. I like to keep them facing out in front, so that when I break at the elbows, I'm keeping my elbows already nice and tight to my body. So that's a good cue for yourself, especially also when you're coming up. You want to think about pointing those elbow pits back out again. So you guys can do your push-ups off those toes. You guys can do a push-up where you come down and then rock back up from the knees, then to the toes. It's kind of like a kipping push-up there. That's totally fine, as long as you're keeping that core nice and tight. Last thing, you can also try going off those knees. Just one error I see sometimes with these knee push-ups, guys, is that we keep our hips bent and then come down and push up like this. I want you to keep yourself nice and straight. So from your knees to your shoulders should be one straight line, come all the way down, and then back up again.
Hopefully you guys hit those 5 rounds. Let's cool off now with some mobility. First stretch, going for 2 minutes, and so you're just holding it in the stretch, guys. For this stretch, again, it's the low back that you're trying to emphasize. So you are going to round your back. You're going to start by being in the seated position. Bring your heels together. Depending on your flexibility, see if you can get your arms underneath it. But if your flexibility is a little bit tight, you can grab your toes, pull yourself slightly forward. If you start noticing that you're kind of comfortable in this position, slide your arms underneath your shins. Where now you're placing your elbows to the floor, bringing you that much lower. Notice how my back is rounded. To get into this stretch, you want to really just kind of decompress and let everything go. So breathe through it, guys, and just relax your body. Okay, so as you're in this position, you want to be relaxed to let all that tissue in your back just really slowly open it up. If you find that it's hard to breathe, back it off a little bit. Okay, now you're going to create tension. You're not going to really get a good stretch. Okay, so go as low as you're comfortable. If you have better flexibility than me, you really want to get lower and lower and lower, guys, to the floor, where you almost even tucking your belly button in to get your QL of so the low back muscle. When you're done the 2 minutes there, then you're going to go 2 minutes in the pancake stretch. You don't need a post, but you can use a post if you have something at home, or you can grab a door jamb where you kind of reach in to one side. You want to kick out your feet as wide as you can. Play around with your position of your toes. Sometimes I'll stretch it with my toes going forward. Sometimes I'll pull my toes in. They adjust the stretch just slightly different, okay? So first I'm going to start with toes in. I'm going to grab that post. I'm going to pull myself in. This one's going to round your back a little bit as well, but your emphasis is on your groin, so your inner thighs. You're pulling yourself in. If you're not getting much of your inner thighs, maybe bring your toes back or forward, kind of play around with the position of your foot. Or last, like I mentioned, you can point your toes, where when I point my toes, I'm able to get a little bit deeper of a stretch. Okay, so play around with it, emphasize your groin. You're gonna hold that for 2 minutes to cool off today, guys. We'll see you tomorrow for the next workout.